Hello everyone, Ace here, and today we are back with another Ace Impressions, although I'm going to have to do things a little bit differently this time. As instead of going through a mission live as I normally do with these first impressions, I feel that may actually be a little bit difficult and ineffective with the game that we are covering today. So instead I've pre-recorded what you're going to be seeing on screen and talking over it. And speaking of which, the game we are covering is of course Beyond the Wire, which has just entered early access today on Steam, which for those of you who are not aware is actually a World War I themed tactical shooter developed by the same folks behind Squad, post Scriptum, and of course Project Reality. So they are, needless to say, quite the successful little independent studio. And of course it's also excellent to see them giving the same attention and care to World War I that they've given more recent time periods. Although having said that, I should also mention that because this is an early access title, there are still a few things missing here and there. For a start, let's just go ahead and rip the band-aid right off, shall we? Because while the Americans, the French, and the Germans are in the game, the British are presently not. However, it is also confirmed that they will be available later on. Still, and as I'm sure you'll agree, it is nevertheless a glaring omission, especially given the fact that some of the maps that are already in the game are based on historical battles such as First Ypres, as well as the Somme. And while we're on the subject, early war uniforms are another omission at this time, although I wouldn't exactly be surprised if they made an appearance later on also. Another thing I should mention is the fact that while Squad, Project Reality, and Postscriptum all have vehicles, Beyond the Wire presently does not, although it may actually be designed from the ground up as being an infantry-only style game. But now that we've covered some of the things that Beyond the Wire presently does not have, let's instead look at one of the big advantages that this game does have, and that would be the in-depth melee combat system, which not only takes your stamina bar into consideration, but also allows you to block enemy melee attacks, which I've got to admit is actually a really neat little feature, and one I am looking forward to using more. While we're at it, however, I feel it's necessary to compare this game at least a little bit to both Verdun as well as Battlefield 1. And I will have to say that the gunplay is easily better in this game than in Battlefield 1, as the weapons not only hit much harder, but they sound and feel a lot better when using. In addition, this game does not have regenerating health, which is something that even Verdun had, so you could also argue it gets a gold star in that regard as well. The one thing that I can think of that Verdun does, however, do better than Beyond the Wire is the trench designs are better, in my opinion, and that is something that I believe the developers of this game should work more on. That said, I cannot deny the fact that Beyond the Wire absolutely handles atmosphere fantastically. Now, I have seen some people mention that they are having optimization issues with this particular game. However, I personally had no such issues. So while they may exist, I can't really comment on them if I didn't have them myself. But I suppose the big question is ultimately whether or not the game is worth the $35 asking price at this time. And typically, I would be quite hesitant about recommending a multiplayer-only game from an independent studio, if for no other reason than the fact that the servers might become empty in a few months. However, given the proven track record of the devs behind this game, I do think that this is a game that you can consider picking up. And I do have to admit that I am quite curious as to what the final game will look like when it leaves early access. In any case, this has been Ace. Hope to see you guys again soon. Take care. Ace out.